Racing fans, NASCAR fans, here we are. Round two, the last round, and we're headed to the Roval there at Charlotte. Welcome on into this episode of another one of Winning Bets Pod. I'm, of course, your host, Jason Mattis, joined every single week by William. What's going on, man?
Going on, man? It's very exciting in NASCAR right now. We got a new winner, and we're going to a track that is very fun. It's usually a big, pricey check for each of them race teams because it's a wreck fest pretty much, and it's a cutoff race, and there's a lot of drivers in must-win situations. You got Alex Bowman, William Byron, and many others. It's going to get very fun and interesting, and I am looking forward to talking about this weekend's race.
That's the great thing about this race coming up this weekend. There's so many stories within this big race that you can talk about. It's really going to be fascinating. Let's remind everybody what we do around here. Of course, we always make sure we look at the previous race, though, first, and then we'll jump on into Charlotte Roval here. Let's look back at the Yellowwood 500 Talladega, where Bubba Wallace earns his first career victory there in the Cup Series. Really proud for him. I thought it was a fantastic race. You saw pretty much what you expect at the super speedways is what you got. You know, excellent drafting, excellent bumping, blocking, 3 wide at multiple times. William, what are some of your thoughts? I love the race from this past Sunday at Talladega, or Monday.
There's a lot of positive things that I could say about it all, but story short, this is the last time they're running that package. And to be honest here, that was probably the best racing I have seen in years at a super speedway. And it's so unfortunate that they're not going to race that next year because they're going to the next gen car, which I think is a big mistake just because a lot of drivers are not liking it. And if the drivers don't like it, the fans probably will not like it at all. But that's
nobody likes change. Once they do it for long enough, everybody will adapt. Change sucks.
Yeah, it does. But there was a lot of good racing. I really liked how when they finally got single file, like the cars are gotten terrible to handle, and that's what caused them to go 2 wide, 3 wide. On Radioactive this past week, I think it was the one car of Kurt Busch that mentioned that, to where when they got single file, he could not handle as well as he did in the draft of 3 wide and stuff like that, and that's what caused them to separate, and that caught my attention. But for a lot of people out there that are going to talk about this race and say, well, it rained and the NASCAR just gave the win to Bubba Wallace. That is completely a false accusation because Bubba Wallace, he managed to stay away from the big wrecks. The first wreck was Justin Allgaier, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Preece. And Bubba Wallace was nearly collected in that wreck. But also the second go around when Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr. wrecked, Bubba Wallace was right there. He dodged another one.
Don't leave out a name. Your boy, Stenhouse Jr. may have caused that wreck by getting into Bowman. You said every other name but the guy that
he was pushed from behind and caused that.
He was pushed, but it's funny you leave him out because you were the one last week that mentioned he would cause a couple of wrecks on his way to getting that checker flag. So I actually thought it was funny. I actually chuckled. I was like, man, William called it again. He did get bumped by the 9, but he was the one that hit the 48 and sent him up into the wall.
Yeah, I don't like talking about my second favorite driver like that, though.
You called it, though. You called it.
Yeah, called it, though. But Bubba Wallace dodged both of them wrecks. Yeah. And he did his part of keeping the car in great shape for the end. Because at the end, him and Kurt Busch worked together really well. They went their separate ways. Kurt Busch was up front, and Bubba Wallace was following in suit. And eventually, Bubba Wallace switched lines and got the lead. And he held off the Penske camp, Joey Logano, and Brad Keselowski. And on the bottom, the JGR camp, Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin. So he was not given the win. He earned the win. He was at the right spot at the right time, and he held off 2 amazing organizations that race well at plate tracks. So Bubba Wallace did really well.
Yeah, and you said that spot on in terms of how he earned it. The only thing to add to that is everybody also knew it was going to cut short, so nobody can say, well, the race was cut short. All those drivers in that moment for the last, probably 20 laps, 15 laps, they all knew that it was going to come down to the end, and, whenever they called it, the race was not going to resume after that. So they were all racing hard. So, yeah, credit Bubba Wallace. Definitely earned that. Fantastic blocking. It was cool to see him hook up with the one car because obviously they'll be teammates next season. So it was kind of cool to see them, work together there late in that little bit. You mentioned the Radioactive. Well, that big wreck that you mentioned showed how Bubba Wallace avoided that on the radioactive, and he got through that situation. So yeah, now certainly earned it, as you said. Kyle Larson, obviously he was roughed up, as you mentioned there, about Allgaier. Man, brutal. Then he like met minimum speed for one lap, and then his tire falls off, and brutal.
Yeah. Kyle Larson, I got to give it to that team, because when he first wrecked, I thought they were going to call it a day and go to the garage and go back to North Carolina. No, they did not. They repaired it, and they still went back out there. Granted, they blew a tire, but they still went back into the pits and repaired it, and he still managed to finish the race. That's a no-quit mentality, and that's the type of mentality that will carry you to the championship race at Phoenix. Look at Chase Elliott last year. The pit crew played a big factor in why he made it to the Final Four, because at Martinsville, for all the people forgetting out there, I just remembered earlier today, so I feel kind of smart, but his crew member, the Jackman to be exact, hopped over the pit box last year before Elliott got there. So what he did was came back across the box to reposition himself so he did not get a penalty for Chase Elliott. So the crew members are a big reason why Hendrick Motorsports are the way they are. And they're also going to be the reason why, in my opinion, Kyle Larson will advance to the round of 8, which is kind of a good guess. I guess you can say that he was going to make it, but now that will solidify him for making it.
Yeah, definitely. You have to have a good pit crew, to survive and even win the championship. Just look at the countless number of issues in these playoffs, with playoff drivers, cut tires, flat tires, oil leaks coming in. These guys got to be quick, damaging repairs or repairing damages. Yeah, no, you got to have a good pit crew right there. Otherwise, I thought you actually said it pretty well there about Bubba and how he earned it. Obviously, we mentioned just overall about how just great the racing was. Otherwise, nothing really stood out. A couple crashes that you mentioned put out. Obviously, the big rain was a talking point. Didn't even happen on Sunday. And then Monday, obviously, a third of it, gets cut, completely short. They even had a red flag there at stage 2 at one point. So, NASCAR certainly tried. I mean, they want to get this race in. Nobody wants to see it get cut short. So they tried, they tried. Bubba Wallace gets the victory. It's good. It was a good race. Like I said, I enjoyed watching it. What about, and actually I could watch it for the first time in a long time without a kid, on my ankles, because it was Monday during the day. Kids were at school. I could actually, watch it and enjoy it. That was maybe one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, I think, honestly, this past weekend was, very different, because Saturday we saw, did you watch the truck race at all?
It's hard for me. I just dedicate the Cup Series. I just do the Cup.
I just watched half of the truck race, but at the end we saw a great finish where the leader got wrecked, and the leader got wrecked again 2 different times, and it was very fun to watch that. That's a first-time winner of Tate Fogelman. And then later on in the Xfinity race, they actually pushed that race until it got very dark, which kind of surprised me when Monday rolled around that they did not push it as far as they did Saturday night when Brandon Brown went to victory lane. And
it was raining so hard that afternoon, Monday afternoon. I mean, there was no chance of drying. I mean, drying it takes 2-3 hours minimum.
Yeah, and I also got a thing for NASCAR to possibly take away from me. When it rains like that, you got a lot of fans out there not wanting to go home. They're wanting to get their money's worth. Why don't they just get in their cars and go around the track and put some heat into the track, so when the jet dryers and air titans come out, their job is a lot more simpler and easier.
I've always said that these tracks should have a built-in tarp, like the infield is protected in baseball. They just have these things electric. The owners need to cough up the millions of dollars and do it. So as soon as it starts raining, you just pull over a tarp like on a baseball infield. You have a little drainage system on the infield of the track. As soon as it's done raining, 30-40 minutes, you're up and running.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
I guess for all the viewers out there,
I understand these tracks are 2 miles. I understand there's 2.5 mile tracks, but still, it's a one-time investment. Hopefully, for a long time. Put it in, do it.
For all the viewers out there saying, "Well, if you put a tarp over, it's going to cover everything up," that's not right.
It can be built into the wall.
You're still going to get some condensation underneath it, and that's going to be wet. So when the air titans and air dryers come out there, it's going to make them, like you said, 40 minutes maybe before they can get back on track racing. So that's a great investment. NASCAR should listen to this podcast. I'm just recommending that.
Everybody should listen to it.
But that's all we got to say about Talladega, I guess.
All right, let's go ahead and then move it over now to the Bank of America ROVAL 400. Of course, we're down at Charlotte this weekend. Should be a good old fantastic race, as I think William touched on it a little bit earlier. 7th time we've been at a road course so far this season. Elliott's won 2. Larson has gotten 2 of those victories. We obviously saw Bell earlier on the season, and Allmendinger obviously got him a victory earlier this season up on a road course. So it should be good. We got 4 drivers obviously below that cut line who'll pretty much a couple of them are in must-win situations, if you ask me. Absolutely must-win. Harvick, Bell, Byron, and Bowman are the 4 drivers currently below that cut line looking to do some damage. Obviously, the big, heavy favorites, obviously Chase Elliott, domination here at the Roval, domination overall, the current king of the road courses. So he's the betting odd favorite. Just go to any sports book. He will be the guy. But what are some of your thoughts here about this race before we give the people our picks?
When you're talking about the favorite, Chase Elliott is the favorite. He's won here the last 2 go-arounds. But I think this go-around, they're not going to go for a win. And neither will the 5 car of Kyle Larson. They're going to go for points, not the win. Points are more valuable in their spot where they are right now. Kyle Larson's 20 above the cut line, and Chase Elliott is like 9 to the good. So they will be at the end of stages when the people are pitting for the win at the end. They're going to stay out and grab them stage points. And I think that's going to affect who you pick in each of these rounds in a way or two. But, yes, it is something to keep an eye on.
I think the most points you get is 40 for winning the race. This boy's coming to win the race. Don't kid yourself there, William. Get 40 points for getting that checkered flag. If they want points, they'll just go get that checkered flag. Come on, man.
Maybe
racing
Kyle
to not
Larson,
get that win. You never know what happens. If Kyle Larson throws up an absolute stinker, there are going to be a lot of guys that can catapult him, and he could go into the next round there at Texas, Kansas, and Martinsville, towards the bottom of the top 8. I want to mess around.
Yeah, but would you rather play it safe and just grab the points as you get them, and then at the end, if you get involved in a wreck, you got the points to rely on?
Go for it. You can't be involved in a wreck the way some of these guys have been kicking ass so far at the road course. You'll be so far ahead of people, you won't be getting any wreck. Some of these guys, some of these road courses, Sonoma earlier this season with Larson, that was a snooze fest. He just dominated. He can't get in a wreck when you're whipping ass.
Yeah, at the Roval, though, it's so tight. There's no room for error. And if you make a slight mistake, you're inside the barrier and pretty much day over. So I think that's something to keep an eye on, though.
Okay.
Maybe. There are some drivers that are close. Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott. They're not going to be there at the end as you would expect. That they're going to be going for points. So that's going to alter who I pick.
Okay, cool. Look forward to seeing who you pick. So let's remind everybody then. Let's jump on into it. We got $25,000 to be won over on the Jackpot Races. They give you 5 groups of drivers. Pick the driver to finish best amongst the group. And then you got to go ahead and give them a top 3 finish. All right, man, we'll start it off right here. This is the group 1. This is the heavy hitters. Let's see who you got coming out of here between Larson, Truex, Hamlin, Blaney, Elliott, and Allmendinger.
Wow, that's a tough round.
Yeah.
You got A.J. Allmendinger. He's a really good driver, and he won at the Indianapolis road course earlier this year. But I don't think he's going to be inside the top 10 at the end, so you need a driver that's going to finish up there. And I look no further than Kyle Larson. Right now, he is 20 to the good, I guess you can say. And he's got a big cushion. All he has to do is just stay up front and maybe collect some points at the end of stages. And I think he'll probably do that, but still gain a couple positions when they restart. So give me Kyle Larson. He's not going to win the race, but he will bring home a solid top 10 finish.
That's a great pick. I'm going to go ahead and take his teammate, Chase Elliott. Obviously, kind of the way I was saying. Talking there for a second, probably not a big surprise there. It's just his dominance overall at the road course. I mean, to go along with those 2 wins this season, he's also got 2 second-place finishes, a 4th-place finish. He's the current road king. He's got the best average finish here at the Roval since 2018, 4. I'm just not overthinking. I don't want to be sitting here next weekend when Chase Elliott wins and be like, damn, I should have picked Chase Elliott. Like, of course, you got to pick Chase Elliott at the road course. So I'm not going to be in that situation. So it's Chase Elliott for me in Group 1. I wish Allmendinger was not in this group, though, because I want to pick him up against, like, some names where, he'd be kind of a sleeper, so to speak. Like, if he was in Group 3, it'd be a no-brainer. I would take Allmendinger. But if he was in Group 2 against some of these other guys, I would maybe take Allmendinger. So shame on NASCAR here for putting him up on in Group 1 with Larson and Elliott. But moving on to Group 2, you got to pick between Logano, Harvick, Byron, Bowman, Keselowski, and Kyle Busch. I'm going to go first. I'm going with Joey Logano. He's got the best driver rating in this group. He's got the 2nd best average finish here at the Roval since 2018. He's been really good so far this season at the road courses. Don't kid you. He's got 3 top 5 finishes. That's 50%, folks. They've only raced 6 times. So in 50% of the times this season at a road course, he's been able to snag him a top 5 finish. I absolutely love that right there. It seems like we have lost William. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get him back on in here. There we go. So there we go. We got William back. All right. So, yeah, it's Joey Logano in Group 2 for me. How about for you?
I'm going to pick the 4 car of Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick right now is just above the cut line, but not by a big margin. And I expect for him to be one of the drivers at the end of each stage, pitting, or like going for the points, but pitting and also getting the fresh tires when they restart. And I think he will use that to his advantage to outdrive some of these drivers in this round, such as Joey Logano. So I think Harvick is the safe bet here. He's going to be racing. He's going to be racing for. He's going to be racing for that whole organization. That's all they got to rely on. Almirola's out. Briscoe has not been good at all. And don't get me started with Cole Custer. He's been a big disappointment. Ouch. Terrible. But that's their only hope for winning the championship. And if Harvick does not, man, they're going to be falling apart before too long.
Yeah, did you say Harvick was above the cut line?
He's above, if I'm not mistaken.
He's below by 9 points.
Oh, 9 points. That's what I thought it was. It was 9 points to the good. Ignore me from earlier, guys. He is 9 points below the cut line. So
that's all right. He's still going to race his tail off and get you that victory there in Group 2. He's going to do good. Now you're right. Cole Custer's been a dumpster fire this season. There's been times on this app where he's been in Group 6. Remember when there were 6 groups? Like Cole Custer has been that bad. He's been in Group 6 so far.
Season. Like Cole Custer, he was good in the Xfinity, but since he came to Cup, he got lucky at Kentucky last year grabbing a win. That was just complete luck. But this year, he's been racing so bad, it would not surprise me for them to consider replacing him in the future. I know his dad is in the organization, but man, that's a big disappointment for a driver that's in a high caliber organization. Because someone like Matt DiBenedetto possibly deserves that seat more than he does. And that's kind of annoying, honestly.
Yeah, now, I mean, you just took the words out of my mouth. I would say an upgrade is definitely DiBenedetto. I would go ahead and upgrade him and not even think twice.
But he don't bring in that much sponsorship money.
Yeah. That's what it takes in NASCAR. All right, let's move it over now to Group 3. You got to pick between, you go first here between Kurt Busch, Reddick, Dillon, Bell, Chastain, and Briscoe.
All right here. I like this round. You got a lot of good drivers right here. And a lot of these drivers have nothing to lose at all. Bell is pretty good right now and stabilized in points. And all he needs is a solid run. And then you got, like, Bell has to have a solid run with a lot of help to make that.
I don't know. I think Bell needs a lot of help, man. If I pull up the standings, if I recall, he's down. He's like 20 30 points
down. 20-something down.
He needs a good showing.
He needs a good showing for one, but he also needs some help. And I still think he can point his way in, but drivers like William Byron and Alex Bowman are in must-win situations. But a lot of these drivers have nothing to lose, and I like Chase Briscoe here, and here's why. He's won this race in the past in the Xfinity Series. He dominated there, and then last year when they came there, he was really fast and was there at the end to win the race. And look, just a couple weeks ago at the Indianapolis Road Course, no one expected him to be up front, leading tons of laps and having a shot to win the race, and at the end piss off a lot of Denny Hamlin fans.
Right.
And I like Chase Briscoe here in this round.
Chase Briscoe. All right, I am going to go ahead and go with Christopher Bell. And you mentioned Byron and Bowman being a must-win situation. I think Bell's also in a must-win situation. I don't think he can just have a good showing or have a solid show. I think he has to flat out win this race to go ahead and advance. He's been hit or miss so far on the road courses this season. I mean, flat out hit or miss. He's got a first, a second, and a 7th place finish. But then he's also got a 24, 36, and 38. So, and a guy that absolutely must have a good showing, must go ahead and probably take that checkered flag. I'll go and take my chances that this can be a hit as opposed to a miss. He's got the best driver rating at 86.5, so it suggests that he's been running good, maybe just not quite getting those finishes. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And he starts way ahead of these guys. I mean, you want to talk about wrecks. He's got to get through less people. There'll obviously be restarts, obviously a handful of them throughout this race, but he does start it and get out of some of that, trouble early on.
Yeah, Christopher Bell, though, all he has to do to point his way in is have one driver in front of him, Chase Elliott probably, or someone else, have a DNF, and that's very likely, or more than likely going to happen, because how much they wreck here in the past. Like, there's so many wrecks here, and it's like a big paycheck for each of these teams after they race here. So that's where I can see the possibility of him pointing his way in. But without that, like you said, he's in a must-win situation.
Yep.
But that's something to keep an eye on, fans. Christopher Bell.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and now jump over to Group 4 here. We got a pick between Almirola, Mcdowell, Buescher, Stenhouse, Wallace, and DiBenedetto. I'm going to go ahead and pick Eric Almirola here. He's just been good at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, flat out track. And here at the Roval since 2018, he's got the best average finish and best driver rating. And he's got all 3 races have finished in the top 20. So I'll go ahead and take Almirola.
For this round, you're looking for a driver that's going to finish inside the top 20, like you said. And this year at road courses, Almirola has been very inconsistent, and so has Stenhouse, and Bubba Wallace is probably one of the worst road course drivers in NASCAR, without a doubt. So I eliminate all of them, and it leads me to Michael Mcdowell. I know he won the Daytona 500 earlier this year, and things went completely south after that, but I think they'll manage to have a great run here, and I think they'll build up some momentum for next year, possibly if he were to return, because right now things aren't looking too certain for front row racing. They possibly have sold their charter to 2311 Racing just this past weekend, so very interesting, and I think Michael Mcdowell is a safe bet here.
All right, Michael McDowell rounding him out here in Group 5. Pick between Suarez, Jones, Custer, Newman, LaJoie, and Priest. Who you got here?
Oh my gosh, what a round right here! You got a lot of very excellent.
I got a good. I got one. I got a steal. It's a steal. It's an absolute steal. You want to know this driver? This driver's finishes in the 6 road courses this season. You ready? He's finished 14th, 16th, 11th, 19th, 7th, and 27th. Remove that 27th. If he can reproduce any of those other previous 5 finishes, he'll win this group easily. Walk away with the group.
Is it Ryan Priest?
Eric Jones. He's my pick.
Eric Jones.
Eric
I
Jones.
just don't know him out there, Charlotte Roval. Because every time when they come here, he's always involved in like the big wreck. I remember when they first came here, Eric Jones was up in the air about 10 feet after he hit a barrier. And I just don't know about Eric Jones here at the Roval. The Roval is a different road course. It's more like technical, I guess you can say, than like your Sonoma, your Road America, your Daytona road course. But yes, I think Eric Jones might be the clear favorite for a lot of people, but I think at the Roval, that's not a good matchup, but I think Ryan Priest is the man. That's who I thought you had at first.
You picked Ryan Priest?
Yeah, I picked Ryan Priest. I thought that's who you had, too.
No, give me Eric Jones, man. His average finish, you're railing on him like he can't drive around this oval. His average finish was 14.43. That's 6 spots better than the next guy. I mean, the guy knows how to do it. He's a veteran. He's a veteran, William. That's why I love that. I love when our picks are different, because like I said, we had that viewer a couple weeks ago go ahead and win $250 by coming in first place on the Jackpot. Took a couple of your picks, took a couple of my picks, and that person was able to make the winning pick. So I love it. All right, go ahead and give him a top 3, man. Who's got that car up in the victory lane come Sunday, and who's gonna be right behind him?
All right, coming home third this Sunday at the Charlotte Roval will be the 4 car of Kevin Harvick for Stewart-Haas Racing. I think this third place finish will be enough to advance him to the round of 8. He will have some help involved of advancing him. But finishing runner-up this Sunday will be the 5 car of Kyle Larson as he advances to the round of 8, which is pretty obvious that was going to happen. But my winner, this is a non-playoff driver. And just this past go-around, I picked 3 of them: Chase Briscoe, Michael McDowell, and Ryan Priest. Ryan Priest, a very successful driver, racing for his future. Michael McDowell, a road course ace. And you got Chase Briscoe. That's a really good choice, in my opinion. And that's who I'm going with, Chase Briscoe. I think you will see a non-playoff driver winning this weekend at the Charlotte Roval. And Briscoe is one of the favorites, in my opinion, when you look at someone that's not in the playoffs contending for the win. Look what he did a couple weeks ago at Indianapolis. He put on a performance there, and he was up front. And he's going to have a decent starting position this weekend, too. He finished 14th at Talladega, so that's obviously going to help him start inside the top 20. And I think that's going to be a good, successful start for him, and he'll move forward and win the race.
He was definitely up in front there in Indianapolis, but that was that road course that was crazy with the thing that came up there on the track. Through the chicane there. I mean, yes, he was in the front, but boy, a lot of cars wrecked there to boost up a lot of people who finished it. But yeah, no, you get it. I like that. Chase Briscoe. All right, you're going with the non-playoff driver. All right, I went chalky. Probably no big surprise. We have kind of been talking and went a little chalky here. Chase Elliott winning this thing. I've got Kyle Larson right behind him. I got Joey Logano. He's going to be taking P3. It's going to be Joey Logano. Look out for him. He's been good. He's been good this season. So there it is, folks. Those are our picks for a chance to win $25,000 over on the Jackpot Races app. We wish you obviously good luck on your picks. Hopefully you can do it just like a viewer did a couple weeks ago, winning that $250. Hey, at some point over the next day or so, once we get this thing edited and uploaded there on YouTube, we're going to go ahead and send out a tweet. We're going to go ahead and tweet this video, let you guys know. If you go ahead and retweet that and also like that tweet, we'll then put your name in a hat, and William's going to go ahead and give away a Bubba Wallace diecast next week here on the show. A 164, he said. What is it, William? What is it exactly? Tell the people.
It's a 164 Bubba Wallace DoorDash car, and all you got to do is, like you said, like and retweet the tweet on Twitter, on your Twitter page, but also follow both of us. And once you do that, you will be entered. And then next week in the video, we will do a random drawing, and when we pick you out, you will receive a diecast. And not just that, you'll receive many more gifts like a hero card and such other stuff. And just comment down below or comment on the Twitter thing, and yeah, you'll be entered.
Do the thing and win the Bubba Wallace thing. It's just what William said. So go ahead and do that, folks. All right, don't also forget, did you do another Pick 5 contest over on your channel? People need to get on over there and enter.
I did, and I just finished editing this.
Cool.
So the Pick 5 video will be coming out probably a little after this video goes out, but just stay tuned and you'll see.
All right, there he is, guys. He's William Blackwell. He joins me every single week here on my weekly NASCAR show here on the Winning Bets Pod. I'm Jason Mattis, of course. What's that?
Remember, last week we were talking about this. Before we get off here, we had to mention the championship race this year is a very big race. And when if a very big race is coming up, we're going to do something very special. And you ready to announce it?
Yeah, you can tell them if you want now.
All right, we're going to announce it right now. We're making it clear. We are going live the Wednesday prior to the championship race. And it's going to be very fun. Hope a lot of y'all come out and watch it. Have a great time. But that's the plan for now. And we're possibly going to do it from Martinsville. But nothing like 100% yet. But for the championship race at Phoenix, we're going to do it the Wednesday prior. Bring your friends. Tell a friend. Tell them to join. And it's going to be a fun night. And we're going to be doing tons of giveaways.
Oh, I can't wait for the chat that night. I can't wait for everybody who's watching live just throwing in their comments about these groups, about these guys, and their the positives, the negatives. I can't wait. I can't wait to read the chat box that night when we're live. It's gonna be a lot of good time. All right, there it is. We've got did we lose? So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So look forward to everybody that night when we're jumping on YouTube Live. All right, guys, those are it, though. Those are our picks for a chance to win $25,000 over on the Jackpot Races app. Come back next week, see how we did. And we'll, of course, always recap it. And then we'll look forward to Texas. Texas is, I think it's Texas. Texas, then Kansas. Okay, yeah, it's Texas. All right, man. Enjoy the race, and we'll see you back here next week.
But everyone have a great one. And remember to please like and subscribe to the channel. And also, go check out my channel if you don't mind. I put up weekly NASCAR content and also NFL stuff. But like I said, everybody have a great one. Please like and subscribe.
All right, well, there you guys have it. Boy, that was a fun time breaking down that race there with William and giving you our picks for a chance to win $25,000 over on the Jackpot Races app. Now let's move it over to the NBC Sports Predictor app where you can win $10,000. They give you all three stages. You got to pick the driver to finish best among that stage. And then you got to go ahead and also give them a top three. Don't forget, guys, I'm also giving away $25 every single week. You guys got your phone out. You guys got that app out. You see that league tab? You go ahead and join the Winning Bets League. Yeah, join the Winning Bets League and have the most points. And then you can go ahead and win my $25. Let's see who won last week. Looks like we had a two-way tie between Pop Rock and Hill. So they'll be splitting that $25. We know both of those guys. You guys see those in those comments. That's Matthew and Brian. Both of those guys are always dropping on great comments on these videos, giving us our picks, giving us their thoughts. So it's cool to see both of those guys on top of that leaderboard and able to split that money. Each take home $12.50. Pop Rock, he did good in the stages and also got Logano correct on his P3 finish. And Brian, he also did really good in getting, the stage worked right. And then he also had Kozlowski and Logano both finishing in the top three. Had them in different places, but was able to correctly get both of those guys up in the top three. So, yeah, good job, Brian. Good job, Matthew. Good job, Pop Rock. And good job, Hill. There you guys go. Good job, man. Nice little two-way tie there for those guys. All right, let's go ahead. It's a new week, guys. Hey, if you didn't win it this week, don't worry. You can go ahead and win it next week. Every week is a new week, and you're competing for $25. So good luck to you this week. Let's go ahead and jump on in my picks for stage 1. I'm going to go ahead and pick Ryan Blaney. I really like Blaney this week. He's got the second best average finish since 2018. His driver rating is 13 points higher than the people in this group. Love Ryan Blaney this weekend. Go ahead in group 2, stage 2. Go ahead and give me Logano, like him. And in stage 3, obviously I like Chase Elliott. This is one of these times where I'm gonna mix it up, but not from the checkered flag position. Still gonna go ahead and give you Chase Elliott as a winner here on this app. Gonna go ahead and give you Ryan Blaney at P2 and his teammate right behind him, P3 there for Joey Logano. So that's how we'll do it there on the NBC Sports Predictor. And again, don't forget to join that league. If you need that league information, it's in this video description. Just grab it from this video description, join that league, and take my $25 next week. Let's go ahead and now move it over to the Fox Bet Super 6 app, where you can win $1,000. This one's easy. 6 questions. Answer the 6 questions right, and split that $1,000. Group question number 1, which driver will the best finishing position? Go ahead and give me Chase Elliott. No big surprise right there. How many Fords are going to be up in that top 10 at the end of this finish here? I'll go ahead and say 3 Fords. I really like Logano, Blaney. I think Harvick will also have a good showing, as William talked on. So those will be the Fords that'll finish in the top 10 at the end of this race. How many Toyotas in the top 5 at the end of this race? I think there'll only be one Toyota in that top 5 at the end of this race. But then how many Chevys will be in the top 10 is a question for number 4. I'll go ahead and say 4. I'll go ahead and say like Elliot, Larson, Bowman, and then Busch. Busch will be up in there. He'll be the last Chevrolet up in that top 10 at the end of this race. All right, which driver on the worst finishing position? It'll be Brad Keselowski. Terrible numbers here. Absolutely terrible numbers. Not one of the best road course drivers anyways. So yeah, Brad Keselowski for me there for number 5. And question 6, which driver will have the most points at the end of this race? Is Chase Elliott. I mean, you get 40 points for getting that checkered flag. That's how much first place is worth. It's worth 40 points. I believe he'll do that, and that'll easily give him the most points at the end of this race amongst these drivers. All right, that's how I'm doing it, guys. $25,000, $10,000, another $1,000, and had a good time this week. Looking back at the last race there at Talladega, then going ahead and breaking down the Charlotte ROVAL with you guys. Should be a good race. As we said, the last race there before we enter round 3, the cutoff race. 4 drivers fighting, trying to get above that cut line. If they can get above that cut line, who's then going to fall below that cut line? Make sure you guys come back next week. We'll recap it, and then we'll go ahead and look forward to Texas. Good luck with your picks. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the race. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.